Hello, my name is Ngozi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about this topic that I titled, Is a Poverty Mindset Holding You Back? So are there some actions that you take that inadvertently hold you back? So I'm interested in personal development and wellness. So let's talk about this. Let's think about this for a minute. Let's think about how our thoughts, our habits, and actions can sometimes lead us down the wrong path. I'm sure you've had experiences where you wish you had taken a different direction. And so, how does this occur? So, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings impact what you do. So, and that's why if you're too tired or you're too hungry or you're angry, that is not the time to make any major decisions, except it's an emergency. But that's not really the time to make those goals that can affect you in the long run. So when you want to plan goals that impact your living, you want to make sure that your brain is calm. You see, the brain is like a computer. If you overload the brain too much, it stalls. And we see that in our day to day. We all have laptops or computers that we use. And you know that if you overload that computer, after a while, it starts to slow down. So the brain is a little bit like that. It's a very sophisticated computer. And if you overload yourself with too much um, burden or too much of anything, even too much of a good thing, after a while, you can't really process information the way you should. So, one of the things that one needs to be aware of is awareness. So being aware that this is happening, that your thoughts, depending on the station you find yourself, that your thoughts might lead you astray. And so what this requires you to do is project a little bit further when you think of your actions, and you kind of have to project and say, okay, if I take this action, what are the possible consequences? Now, I mean, we don't know everything. At the point in time, you're making a decision, you don't know the outcome. You're hoping for a particular outcome, but you cannot be 100% sure that you're going to get the outcome because various things might happen, and that pathway that you think you're going to take may not be that pathway that you're going to take. So that you end up taking, because you're going to come across obstacles. Like every journey that you set out on, you may come across obstacles. So you end up having to take a different path. And when you take a different path, more than likely you will arrive at a different destination. So not quite the destination that you thought you were going to arrive at. So this requires you to make some advanced thinking. So when you have a decision you need to make, and you want to decide which path you're going to take, you have to project a little bit and think a little bit ahead at the possible outcomes. So think of 2 or 3 possible outcomes. Okay, if I take this direction, these are the possible outcomes. Now, if those possible outcomes, if one of them is not an outcome that you want, then you want to rethink your pathway and focus on a different pathway. Okay. So the mind is a very powerful determinant of the steps that you take in various things in the different sections of your life. So it might be your career, it might be your relationship, it might be your finances, it might be your health. So whatever it is you decide to do, the outcome is, you know, it can be variable outcome. There are some things that, okay, if you do, this is guaranteed, but most often times it's not guaranteed. So you may end up having to settle for second best. So one of the things that affects the decisions that we make is our fear. So our fear and limiting beliefs. There are a lot of thoughts that go through our mind every day, a lot of thoughts. Majority of the thoughts are negative thoughts. And sometimes we set out to do something and then we have this thought that comes in and then we abandon what we wanted to do. For instance, today I wanted to record this podcast and I was going back and forth on, oh, should I not, should I not? And, as you know, in this day and age, if you're coming online to do content, you've got to have your makeup. And today, I just didn't feel like putting makeup on. And so I thought, no, you can't record today because you don't have makeup on. But then I was ready to record because I had the idea that I wanted to talk about. Because to put content out, you have to have the idea. So it's not that easy to put content out. You have to have something that you're going to be talking about. And I always want to provide value to my audience. So I just don't want to be talking for talking. I want to make sure that it is adding value to someone. But then so many things have to happen for that podcast to occur. And sometimes all those things are not aligned. And then you end up saying, oh, no, I don't want to record today. And then you do that for weeks and you do that for months, and then you haven't put any content. So, and that's why that perfection that we strive for, sometimes it can hold us back. And so today I decided, okay, even though there are so many obstacles today for me to record, I'm still going to record because I have this idea that I think could help someone. So, like I said, fear and limiting beliefs, they can play a huge role in how we think. So for many people, they are afraid for whatever reason. Some people have anxiety, and some people have grown up with worry over time. They worry about finances. They worry about day to day. For whatever reason, they have a lot of worries. And over time, that worry leads to chronic anxiety. They become in a state of perpetual anxiousness, and they're not even aware that they're anxious. And that anxiety can manifest itself in um, just the lack of thinking properly, um, the, you know, the inability to make decisions, good decisions, and just so many things. And that fear can cause us to make the wrong decisions because you make these short-sighted decisions because you are afraid, or you want a quick result. And so you're making decisions because you're looking for quick overnight success. And you're making those decisions based on fear. So one of the things that we can do to kind of get ourselves back, a reset, like a reboot, like your computer is slow, you just reset it, right? So there are many things to do, but one of the things you can do is really start to ask yourself some useful questions. So you ask yourself questions. and just ask yourself why you feel fearful, or why you want to make this decision. Why do I want to make this decision? Why do I want to take this decision? Why do I want to go this route? So asking yourself those questions will help you to reset. Then you answer those questions and you see if this is something that your mind is taking you to. Always positive affirmations will help you counter the negative. If your brain has a lot of negative thoughts, then you balance it with positive affirmations. And a lot of people do this with prayer or meditation. So now we've talked about the feelings and the negative thoughts. So the next thing we do is the action. So a lot of people, myself included, we like to have a lot of ideas, but then we don't take action on those ideas. And if you're adding value, you want to add value, it's important to take action. And when people have that poverty mindset, that action is also impeded. Sometimes they don't take the action because there are many obstacles in their path. And, if you want to make a move, but you have a poverty mindset, it may be that you need to talk to someone that you trust. You need to talk to a therapist who will help you counter those negative ideas or negative feelings, and help you shift. You know, another thing is the visualization. If some people are, visual, so if they're not seeing what they want to accomplish, and they are surrounded by circumstances that are less than ideal, and they're not really seeing what they want to accomplish, or they're not seeing people who have accomplished what they want to accomplish, so they don't have an idea of what is possible, that falls under self-limiting beliefs. So again, that can affect that mindset. So I'm just kind of talking about how a poverty mindset can hold a person back. And a poverty mindset is just a mindset that doesn't have, the thoughts that can add value to that person or people around. So I think this is a very heavy topic, and I just wanted to raise some awareness, because people sometimes they're not aware that they have this poverty mindset. They are stuck in that cycle of scarcity and fear, and they're not aware. And it's just the way some people have depression, and they're not even aware that they have depression. They just function through, they're not aware they have depression. And that depression blocks them from, uh, good thoughts. So that depression blocks them from good action. So some people have anxiety. They are not aware that they have anxiety. And so that anxiety affects the decisions that they make. And they make decisions out of fear. And, a lot of things that we do, you have to take a little risk, a little calculated risk, that you have analyzed and looked at the pros, the cons, and, especially, um, if you are making moves or changing jobs, or you're in a relationship, you want to change that relationship. If you're addressing those concerns with a background of fear, sometimes you end up making the wrong decisions. I think most people can benefit from coaching or therapy. Most people can benefit from talking to someone to guide them, and like a soundboard, you see, because if you don't run those ideas by people who you trust and people who care for you, your mind is going to tell you, no, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or lead you astray, so you end up making the wrong decisions. The same way you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, right? And you end up buying all kinds of things that you know you're not going to eat, and they end up in the trash a week later because you made a decision when you were hungry. So the same way you make a decision when you are fearful, or you are angry, or you are depressed, and often that decision is not a decision that favors you, because your mind is just not in the right frame. So being aware is one of the first things. And um, once you are aware, you can start to ask yourself questions about, the decisions that you're making, and project a little bit further. Look at the ramifications of those decisions. When you make those decisions and you decide to act, are you adding value, or are you harming somebody, or are you harming yourself in the process of that decision that you are making? So once you start to see and visualize where you want to be, it makes things a lot easier. Some people are visual people, and they need a vision board. And a vision board is just a simple paper you stick up somewhere on the door, or by the wall in your room, or by the wall in the bathroom where you can see it. And what they do is write what they want to be, where they want to be. And sometimes they will put like uh, clippings of images that are inspirational to them. So they may want a house, and then they'll stick a picture of a house that they want. So all those are vision boards, and they help people with focusing on their goals. So the other thing is the community. If you're part of a community, or you have contact with people who are doing good things, that can inspire you and get you out of that poverty mindset. Very important too is to invest in your education and continue to build your skills. So life is lifelong learning. Once you stop learning, you're going to become stale, because every year there's something new. There's something new in all the industries. Look at the technology that we have now. Do you remember those phones that we used to dial with the little ringer? We don't see them anymore. And do you remember the first time they made cell phones? They were as large as a brick, and they would get really, really hot. And so if you were stuck in that era and you're not updating your skills, then in this time and age, you don't know how to use a smartphone because you never updated your skills. So it's important to continuously update your skills in whatever field you're in. And that could mean reading, or attending conferences, or coaching, having a coach that will see you through the journey. So today I've talked about how a poverty mindset can hold you back. I've also provided some ideas for how to shift out of that poverty mindset. Like everything, you've got to be patient with yourself. There's nothing overnight. There's nothing that gets done overnight. There's no rich overnight. There's no success overnight. There's nothing that's in one day. It's like you're baking a bread. You have to, a piece of bread, you've got to add the yeast and let the bread sit. It's got to rise. So everything needs time. Everything needs time to mature. So I've talked about many ways to shift out of just being stuck in a poverty mindset. It needs work. It needs faith. It needs vision, and it needs patience, because there's no overnight success. So if you've liked my video, give me the thumbs up and don't forget to share and subscribe. And thank you so much for listening. Until the next video. Bye for now.